I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We are lit up by Rigid Industry, schooled by DirtFish Rally School, anywhere is possible with General Tire, and let's not forget we're rolling on those KMC wheels here on a Monday morning. And man, it was a wild weekend for motorsports. First off, desert racers, everybody getting ready for the Mint 400. A lot of guys shaking down their trucks, testing, getting ready for our biggest event of the year, outside of the Baja 1000. Mint 400 becoming just a marquee event, all things considered, on a national scale. I mean, it's grown to be that big. But, we had WRC Mexico going on, and, man, talk about a wild event down there. A lot of you fans following that along online, with WRC's new subscription program, and I got to tell you, it was crazy. You guys saw I posted up some videos over the weekend of Oit Tanik, and his car and raising. I guess they're calling it raising of the Titanic. It was pretty crazy. We'll get into that in our DirtFish Rally Report later on. We also had Endurocross going on. In addition to Endurocross, that was in Daytona. We also had Supercross from Daytona. So lots of motorcycles happening in Daytona. Bikes taking over down there, which is traditionally a NASCAR country. But I got to tell you, some great racing down there. And Amy Houde, she's going to be calling in later on today. She was down there on ground. She's going to be catching up with us and telling us about everything that happened down there in Daytona. And looking forward to that. And big news coming out of over the weekend. Mint 400 announcing their Miss Mint finalists, and Down and Dirty Radio Show's own Amy Houde making the cut. She is one of the 6 finalists heading to Las Vegas to be crowned this Thursday, the 2015 General Tire Miss Mint. So you definitely want to wish Amy Houde the best. And I got big news along with that. Amy traveling to Las Vegas. We host a Down and Dirty Radio Show live from Fremont Street on Friday, just like we have done the past couple of years. And Amy Houde, she is going to be my co-host for 2.5 hours there on Fremont Street. So we're throwing her right into the mix of desert racing. So should be an exciting week for me. Obviously we're kicking things off with the show today. We've got our truck finished being wrapped. We got to test it. I head to Vegas for qualifying on Thursday. I got a lot of MC work on Thursday night. We've got contingency Friday, just a big deal. And I got to tell you, guest today, BJ Baldwin. They don't get any bigger than BJ Baldwin when you're talking desert racing. We've got Justin Lofton. He's going to be talking about his new trophy truck and what it's like to transition from a buggy to a trophy truck. I think it ought to be a good story there with Justin, and also Amy Houde. Obviously, she's calling in, but we're all in on the Mint 400 this week on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and I got to tell you, it's going to be a great event. The event reaching the cap, and I got to tell you, I got in late. I've been doing a lot of work, was busy, sent my entry form in before the draw, but I guess they reached the cap, so I didn't even know if I was racing at this point. Got a call last week from the owner of Best in the Desert, said, hey, you're in, somebody dropped out. So I actually wasn't in the race until last week, and now I've found myself in the race. So definitely not going to be fun start qualifying from the back of the pack. But we'll see, just stoked to be a part of the Mint 400 and all the festivities. So you fans that are on the edge about showing up for that, teetering on whether you should go or not, the answer is yes, go. You're definitely going to enjoy yourself. You're going to have a great time. It's one of the best events of the year. I don't care, all motorsports. I mean, you go, you're gonna have a good time. I mean, between everything on Fremont Street, pit crew challenges. I mean, vendors. It's literally 3 or 4 days. I know they brought in some musical talent. It's literally 3 or 4 days of packed with. You can do just about anything, and it's in Vegas. So I guess you get bored at race cars. I don't know why you would, but if you did, I guess there's plenty other to do in Vegas as well. So a big week. Not only that, we've got more Supercross going on. We've got the Snowcross finale this coming weekend. It's going to be wild, man. It's a wild week, and like I said, we will be airing from Fremont Street. But today, this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We're blowing it up with the Mint 400 with two of the top drivers in the Mint 400. Both of them going to be competing for the overall. Mr. BJ Baldwin and Justin Lofton calling in. Justin going to kick off hour number 2. BJ kicking off hour number 1 here in just a few minutes. But, man, I got to tell you, looking forward to that. BJ, what can you say? This guy, he's born and bred in Las Vegas and desert racing. Grew up in this sport. His dad raced. He was surrounded by some many greats. I mean, he talks about Larry Ragland, the Collins. He was surrounded by them, and just a guy that's grown up with the sport, and coming into his own as a driver a couple of years ago. He had some championships. And he's won. He's driven in multiple classes, and moving up to trophy truck. I think he struggled at first, and as anybody can tell you, it's definitely definitely. There we go. We'll see if we can pick BJ up. You there, BJ?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, buddy. Well, we were just talking about kind of your background, kind of giving a lead-in. And I was saying, you're one of those guys that, I've talked about with Mark and Gary Wyrick and quite a few others, You were one, and I think it's a different thing in desert racing right now. A lot of these guys with a lot of money immediately go, hey, I'm jumping into a trophy truck. You were one, you kind of worked your way up. You didn't start in trophy truck. You worked your way through the ranks. I mean, how do you think, guess throwing you into the fire right now, on air, but how do you think that benefited you as a driver, being able to kind of work your way up instead of starting, in a trophy truck? 'Cause I know you were in buggies before, right? Class 1 car?
Actually, I started in a Class 12 car, and I raced Snore in 1997. It was a beam car I got off of Butch Dean that J.C. Dean used to race, and I raced that for 4 or 5 years, and then I built an air-cooled Toyota A-Arm Bunderson Class 10 car for a couple years. It was like this experimental car. It had a Ford 9-inch rear-end in it, but it had trailing arms just like a regular buggy. And then I put a Scat V4 in that car and raced that in Class 1. And then I got into racing trophy trucks. I mean, really, for me, it definitely helped because I got to learn, how to be competitive in a buggy. Which is something, you learn a lot of stuff in buggies that you don't learn if you just start out in trucks. So it's a little difficult to become competitive when you start out in something that will go from 25 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in a very short amount of time. When you're in limited class buggies, if you make a mistake and you have to slow way down, it takes an eternity to get back up to speed. So the consequences for making a mistake are so much higher. Whereas if you make a mistake in like an unlimited car, like Class 1 car or a trophy truck, you've got all that power. You got 500, 600, 700 horsepower. You just get right back up to speed.
Yeah, and I've had that conversation with a few people recently. When I was out at the rally event a couple weeks ago, I was talking with Andrew Comrie Picard, who, he's had some time in a desert car and then time in a rally car, and he says, the biggest difference is he's got a ton of respect for what we do in the desert, but he's like, we were talking about it, and Harley Letner last week said the same thing. In an off-road car, you sometimes, in the unlimited cars, you can still be fast but be a little bit sloppy. And in other forms of motorsports, you don't have that, opportunity. So I think it's almost like a false sense of being a good driver in an unlimited car sometimes, because you can be all over the place and still, as long as you're on the gas, still be somewhat fast.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Class 1 is a very, very, like, violent class. There's a lot of stuff going on in the car. The cars, they don't go through, big holes like the trucks do. They kind of ricochet around, and they're very fast going up washes, and there's a lot going on. I mean, a lot of these cars have sequential transmissions, and 750 horsepower. My old Class 1 car had about 420 horsepower, and back then that was a pretty fast car. And then right after I got into I bought Damon Jeffries' truck in the end of 2003, and I raced it at the Prim 300 and the Baja 1000. Right, like the following year, that's when everybody was putting like big trophy truck motors in their cars, and the year after that, they started putting all the sequential transmissions in it. So, I mean, there's a lot going on in a Class 1 car. It's a lot of work. These guys that do the whole 500 by themselves, the guys that do the whole 1,000-mile race by themselves in a Class 1 car that's sequential. I got a lot of respect for those guys, because it's a lot more work than the trophy truck. At the same time, you have a lot more mental focus that you have to have in a truck to be competitive in a truck, because, again, like going back to a limited class, what helps you in a truck, or what helps you in a limited class car is going to help you in a truck as well, in a sense that, the trucks, they don't accelerate as fast as some of the Class 1 cars. And I think it takes more mental focus to run a truck at super high speeds.
Yeah.
And like rally style roads, I've always said that separates the men from the boys. If you can take a truck that is not really designed to do high speed rally roads with turns and stuff like that, if you can make it go fast there, I always thought you would have an advantage on the rest of the field.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and talking about you and talking about, stamina, endurance, and mental mindset, I mean, back-to-back Baja 1000 wins, and both of them solo. I mean, what kind of training? I mean, I know, what kind of training did you go through to prep yourself for that? Because, I mean, I can tell you, I've driven 500-mile races before by myself, and I'm whooped at the end. I could only imagine doing 1,000 miles, especially a point-to-point Baja 1000, solo.
Well, I mean, just like with anything else, it starts with passion. You see, a lot of these pro athletes that are one of the better guys in their sport. They have a great deal of passion. Growing up, I used to watch Brendan Gaughan. I used to watch Ivan Stewart and Robbie Gordon, and I was just super, super fascinated by the sport. So there's a lot of these dreams come true for me. To be able to, just to be able to drive a trophy truck is a dream come true to me. So to be where I am in the sport right now, where I can say, I'm one of the better guys in the sport, and I've been fortunate enough to have, all the hard work and preparation pay off, to where I've won championships. I've won, the Baja 1000 a couple times. I've won all this stuff. So it starts with passion and the will to make sacrifices in order to put yourself in a position to where you can be successful at something. And that's the first thing, is passion. The second thing is education. And, my dad always told me this growing up, that, education is the most important thing. And I didn't really listen to him until I got older. But, if you have more information than the guy standing next to you, you're gonna do better. And I try and learn everything I can, every chance I get, from people who are better drivers than me, people who are better athletes than me, people who know more about nutrition. And I mean, really, my expertise has kind of turned in. Obviously, I've done well in driving, and I could say I'm good I'm as good, or better on my best day than, some of the other 4 or 5 top guys out there. But really what I've really learned in the last 5 years is kind of how to become a fatigue management specialist. Because, if you can't be alert after, 16, 17 hours of a car, you're never going to make it. Like the Peninsula, you're never going to make it to the 20th hour. The Peninsula run, Baja 1000 that we won a few years ago, was 20 hours and 15 minutes, and I got to tell you, the last hour felt like the first 19. So you really got to just take care of yourself and have good mental focus and just remember why you're there and remember how lucky you are to be able to do what what I've always dreamed of. So that's where it starts. Passion and information are the 2 main things.
Yeah. Well, and talking about this year, I mean, obviously, you've got Best in the Desert championships, you've got score championships, you've got Baja 1000 wins. What's next for BJ Baldwin? I mean, what's the plans for 2015 and and then in the future? I know you went to Dakar. I know that's something you want to go back and do. I mean, do you have any plans in the next couple of years possibly pursue that again as well?
Well, I mean, as it relates to the car, I would go if I went with the right team. I've gone with Robbie a couple times, and that's been a lot of fun. I've always said, I think Robbie is the smartest guy in our sport, and I like to surround myself with people that I can learn from, so that I can be a more high performing human being in my competitive sport, in the sport of desert racing. So it was fun to go with Robbie, and last year I thought it would be a good idea to compete against Robbie, and I thought we would have a good car because it was supposed to be the same car that NASCAR did very well in the previous year, but we probably should have tested a little bit more. We had problems every single day. It was so brutal. I passed the same 20 guys every day, and they hated me because I whipped through the whole crowd. And then have to pull over for 45 minutes because of vapor locking and I'd have problems here and there. I pushed a couple guys out of the way out of sheer anger. You become a different person after the 3rd or 4th day. Whatever temperament you have gets significantly shortened through lack of sleep and heat and exhaustion and dehydration. So I was a little angry, a couple days in because of all the problems that we were having. As it relates to this car, I don't want to go back unless I'm with a team that's competitive. It's hard to when you have a team that has $2 million. It sounds like a lot of money, and $2 million is a lot of lap dances, a lot of partying, whatever. When it comes to the car, that's nothing. That's like trying to go run a year-long trophy truck program for $250,000. It just can't happen. You bring a $2-3 million budget to teams like BMW. I think they have $25 million that they throw at their cars. So it's hard to compete like that. To do it right, it's very expensive to do it right in the car. So the next time I go to Dakar, I want to do it right. It's just, it's a lot of work, and I want to be anything that I want to pursue. I want to put myself in a position to where, if I work hard and do everything that I need to do, and perform well, then I could be successful at it, or at least competitive. So that's what I would like to go to Dakar, but I want to go with a really good team, and it's hard for people and spectators on the outside to kind of understand where I'm coming from with that. But
yeah,
you know as well as I do. Other desert racers know as well as I do the inner workings of how the car works, and it's very difficult to be competitive on a very limited budget. When I was with Eric Vigor, just to give you an idea of how low of a budget we had. I mean, we had Eric Ziegler was a great guy, and we had plans to come up with a lot more funding, but a lot of that stuff fell through no fault to Eric's. Eric's a great guy, but we had to cut our expenses so much. Like the first 2 days, we stayed in a hotel right next to a brothel that was rented by the hour, and it was the most disgusting place that I've ever stayed. And just to give you an idea how much we had to cut budgets. We had to stay. We had to sleep fully clothed. It was me and my girlfriend Lisa. We slept fully clothed with our hoodies on.
Trying to keep the bed bugs away, right?
Yeah. Try not to get HIV in this fucking hotel room. So it was really hard. It's hard to compete with teams, that have race cars that are $3 million. So if I go back, I want to do it right. As it relates to stuff that's going on this year and my future, I got a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm pretty excited about it. I am only doing full score season. I'm racing a full score season and the Mint, possibly Vegas to Reno, and I'm not going to do the Baja Sur race, unfortunately. But outside of that, I'm going to Festival of Speed this summer. I'm doing a demo in New York. It's in Supercross in New Jersey. This New Jersey Supercross next month. And I got a couple demos that I'm doing here and there. I'm also doing, including Recoil, I've got 3 big film projects.
Yeah, I was going to say, Recoil. We're definitely seeing a Recoil 3, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Recoil 2, I had so much stuff go wrong. And now it was a really good learning experience. It was obviously still did okay. But it was everything that I was going to try to do kind of got messed up, and the way it was promoted wasn't promoted to what we had originally discussed. But it was a okay film, and I'm going to take everything I learned from the second one and apply it to the third one. I mean, I had scenes that I planned on doing that would have been worth 4 or 5 million views. 3 or 4 of those that I didn't get to do. I was supposed to jump off of a water tower onto another water tower. I was supposed to jump out of a cul-de-sac down to an intersecting road that was 40 feet vertical and 80 feet across. There's a lot of other stuff I was supposed to do, but we didn't have the funding to do it because we would have had to take power lines down and cable and telephone lines and stuff like that. So I didn't get a chance to do a lot of that stuff, and I didn't get approval to jump off this water tower onto another water tower. But this year we've been planning Recoil 3 for a month now, and Brian Scotto from the Hooligans is obviously helping out again. He's the guy that's got all kinds of fantastic ideas, and we're going to incorporate some kind of a supercar, and then we're going to incorporate a few models and obviously stunts with the truck. I haven't decided which truck I'm going to use yet, whether I'm going to use Rampage or Fedor. But depending on what stunts we're going to do, I'll figure out which truck I'm going to use. And as far as the location is concerned, we have 3 different locations we're looking at. Obviously, I can't talk about any of them, but hopefully we get our first pick. If we get our first pick, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, and talking about talking about your truck choice and stuff, I know you've done some, some gymkhana or I guess drifting demos with KB and Vaughn. Is one of your trucks actually better suited for that than the other one, or do both of them have their advantages and their disadvantages?
Well, I mean, you know how it goes in off-road. I mean, it's not like NASCAR where they're all the same. Everybody has their different theory of what works. And Fedor works better at high speed, like high-speed rally roads, like going into Mike's Loop where it's all twisty mountain roads with no bumps and elevation changes, stuff like that. Fedor is definitely faster. Going through bumps, Rampage is faster. The reason why I've been using Rampage a little bit more the last year and a half is because ergonomically it's just more correct. I mean, if I can get the room that I need in a car in the old trophy truck, I would probably be driving that, but everything was perfect for that truck other than the fact that it would wear me down more because there was just not enough room for a guy like me in the car. I'm 6'4", 245 pounds. It's hard for me. I'm not built like a race car driver.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I was 5'10" and 180, 175 pounds and I could fit in anything. But unfortunately, I may have drank too much milk when I was younger. I'm a big dude.
Yeah. Well, talking about that, I mean, obviously you've got these two trucks, both of them, capable of winning, races right now. But is there somewhere in the back of your mind, all right, so, I've got an idea, how to fuse the best of both these trucks and possibly, a future truck?
Yeah, no, I want to build a truck, and I have an idea of what I think would cater to my driving style and what would perform better. I just don't have the money, This for me is a very desert racing is a very hard sell. It's hard to get funding when you don't have any way to fill up spectator seating. The best seat in the house at a desert race is in a helicopter, and those are $700 an hour, so you don't see, 500 helicopters flying a desert race. Now, in short course racing, it's a lot easier to get funding for, plus they only have to run for 15 minutes per race or 20 minutes. So it's even with me, it's very hard to cover my program. I'm doing a little bit better than breaking even, and obviously I need to do a lot better than that to build another $700,000 machine that throws rocks and makes dust. So it's really all about funding right now, and I'm trying to become more valuable to my sponsors. The thing that's I think kind of hurts us in that aspect, guys like me, Bryce, Robbie Gordon, McCackern, is some of these other teams in off-road, I think they need to present themselves a little bit better. I don't think they should give stuff away for free. And what I mean by that is a lot of these guys will run huge Castrol stickers or huge tire stickers or so-and-so bodywork stickers on their trucks, when all that's kind of like wasted value. Like, I don't think they realize that they're giving exposure away for free, so that kind of makes it hard for guys like us. But I think the sport is changing a little bit in that aspect, as to where people are figuring out that regardless of whether you're a guy that's going to win championships or win races, or if you're just a competitive guy, or if you're not competitive, you're in the sport and you have a race car, the side of your race car holds value. And I think guys in the sport now, in the last year, are starting to understand that, and they're starting to run their race team more like a business. I think that's going to be better for everybody. Even if you say spend $1 million on racing a truck for a year, and you can get a financial commitment from a company to help promote them and represent them for $20,000 or $50,000, that's still $20,000 or $50,000. So I think as a whole in our sport, we need to keep our stuff clean. We need to be responsible, and we need to recognize value. and start to run our off-road teams like a business. And I think that's going to help the sport as a whole. It's going to get us a lot more exposure, and it'll get us all more money.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you because I think, you and I both have, I think we've had this conversation before, but, I've been in meetings and you're competing for the same dollars as, 45 other trophy trucks or the guys that care to actually go after it. And I don't know how many times I've been in meetings, well, this guy will do it for such and such. And I'm like, really? He'll do it for that? And it's one of those things where, well, I can't give you that. Well, we'd rather be with you, but you got to come down. I'm not going to come down and meet that because he's basically giving, half of his truck away for virtually nothing, and I think both of us have been in meetings like that, and it's frustrating, and I agree with you. I think in the last year you've seen people, guys start to put on a more professional effort as far as attracting sponsors, and the big thing is realize we've got value in these trucks, but it's also the ancillary activities that you do, whether it be Recoil or your appearances or me with radio and media work. There's lots of value you can add in to go along with the trophy truck program. I think finally people are becoming more receptive to that, whereas guys like you, Bryce, Cameron Steele, Rob have realized that forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. This is absolutely a fun job, and it's a dream come true for me to be competitive and for me to do these things. And it's a fun job, but it's still a job. It takes a lot of work to get funding to support my program. And, I have a lot of love and a lot of passion for the sport. I think it's the greatest motorsport in the world. And I think it's just driving a truck or even watching a truck perform, a race truck perform is the coolest thing ever. And I just want to bring more value for the sport, not just for me, but, for everybody. And for the sport as a whole, and for everybody involved in the sport, so I want to make us. I'm not really competing with all of us, so to say. I want us all to succeed, And I think if we start to run our race teams like they're businesses and start to promote ourselves a little bit more, I think we will be more successful.
Yeah, I completely agree. So before we let you go, the one thing we haven't even touched base on, and it's the big thing this week, and the reason why we had you on air, Mint 400, man. This is your hometown race. Your family, I know with your dad, you guys are involved, getting the parade down the strip. I mean, your family has been involved in this event. I mean, what would this one be for BJ Baldwin to take home, another victory here?
It would be a miracle. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to do well and whatnot. I got to be real. That area of the world is like the Bermuda Triangle for me. I know every inch of that terrain. That's my test platform. I test out there all the time. But for whatever reason, whenever I'm out there, I've got a black cloud that follows me. And if we could just move the Mint 400 back to the old course, I would be so happy. I think that was a more fun course because it incorporated a lot of fast roads that are very dangerous. Out there at Prem, that course has been beaten to death. Everybody knows it. There's really no danger out there. It's just, who can have a flawless day and not have any problems. I know every inch of that desert out there, and it's become very, very frustrating over the last 15 years. My best finish out there in any race has been third place. So for me to do well at this year's Mint 400 out in my kind of Bermuda Triangle would be really nice because I've just had so much bad luck in that part of the world. That's like the only course where I've never been able to, conquer. I've always had, I've broken drive shafts there, gear sets, intermediate shafts and transmissions. I've lost motors I've lost my racing engines on that course. I never lose racing engines. Croyer's my engine builder, and I may have lost like 3 racing engines in the last 90 races. So I just have bad luck at that part of the world, and we're doing everything that we can to try and become successful at the Mint 400. I mean, we've got some new stuff that we're testing on the racetrack that we've tested here recently that's made the truck a little bit faster, made it perform a little bit better. And, the truck's fully prepped. I'm ready to go. I'm really excited about the event. Win, lose, or draw. I don't care if I go 100 yards or if I beat everybody by 15 minutes. I'm just excited to compete at the Mint 400 again. It's a historic race for me because it was the first off-road race I ever went to when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about it, and I like the fact that Martellis have been doing a really good job promoting it, and I got a lot of respect for those guys, and I think they're doing great things for the sport, and I think it's good for all of us.
Yeah, I completely agree. So before we let you go, I know obviously your hometown race, Vegas, lots of local fans. We got a lot of listeners in that area. People that want to meet BJ Baldwin, where's it going to happen this week?
I'll be at Spearmint Rhino all weekend.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll be obviously I'll be at qualifying, but I'll be at Fremont Street for the meet and greet. And I'll be at Tech, and, if they want to come up and say hi and get their picture taken, I'll be there for everybody that wants to say hi to me. I have a tremendous amount of respect for everybody here in Vegas, my hometown. I've grown up here, and I love Las Vegas, and I love the people in Las Vegas, and everybody here is family. So feel free to come up and say hi, and I look forward to seeing all the off-road fans.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, and I guess we'll see you Thursday at qualifying.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
All right. Thank you, buddy. We'll catch up later this week.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too. Bye. All right, that was BJ Baldwin, Baja champ and, Best in the Desert champ, score champ, you name it. He's won it all. Las Vegas local, and this is the big one, the Mint 400. This weekend, Las Vegas, you don't want to miss it. Kicking things off, vehicle parade on Wednesday. Got some pit crew challenge qualifying Wednesday night, and then all the major festivities kick off Thursday with qualifying open to spectators. And then we have pit crew challenge, Miss Mint crowning, and time trials results Thursday night. Contingency Friday, Saturday, it's race day. Go to themint400.com for all the info. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some WRC in our DirtFish Rally Report. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Get on and go. Go where the jackpots flow like the mighty Colorado River. And go for free. Blue Water Resort and Casino now offers free bus transportation from the Lake Havasu City area. Just hop on and we'll do the driving. And convenient, 3 pickup times on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pickup points are Basha's South Side on Maricopa and the London Bridge Swap Meet parking lot. Seating limited to the first 28 passengers per bus. First come, first serve. Call 888-243-3360. That's 888-243-3360. Or visit BlueWaterFun.com.
DirtFish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, DirtFish is the place for you. DirtFish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, DirtFish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at DirtFish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, DirtFish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DirtFish Rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and just got done with BJ Baldwin, one of the favorites heading into the Mint 400. You gotta say, man, there was some great quotes in that interview. You know, I think one of them, $2 million will buy you a lot of lap dances. It will take me it'll take a miracle for me to win the Mint 400. BJ definitely one of those guys. He's always got something to say, man. And he's become a pretty good friend over the past couple of years, and I got a lot of respect for him as a driver, man. The guy to win Baja like he has back to back in solo efforts. Best in the Desert Championships, score championships, and like we talked about, and I don't think he gets enough credit. Coming up, he's definitely a student of the game, is come up through the ranks of desert racing, and to find himself in the marquee event, marquee class of trophy truck, and what he does to promote the sport. I mean, through his videos and his works with Monster Energy. The guy definitely, there's a few of us that that really look at the sport as a whole and go, hey, how can we grow this thing? How can we make it bigger? And BJ is definitely one of those guys. And, obviously we mentioned the Martelli brothers are in there. Bryce Menzies, another one. But there's some people behind the scenes that look at the sport and they're really pushing its growth. And BJ, one of those guys, and tip of the cap to him for all he does. And I know behind the scenes, he does a lot of works with some charities and stuff as well. I know, he's been one of those at Christmas time, big toy drive type of thing. And, just a good guy, man. Definitely good people. So definitely stop by the meet and greet down there at the Mint 400 and, get to meet up with BJ and I guess snap some pictures, man, because we know BJ loves Instagram, so sure he'd love seeing your pictures. But right now, it is the DirtFish Rally Report, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. You can find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And DirtFish Rally Report this week, we're going to talk some WRC, but I have to say, over the weekend, the picture started emerging on social media. We know Tanner Whitten, he's going to be running a GRC Lights car this year. I'm particularly really interested. I think Tanner is going to be very good behind the wheel of one of these. But DirtFish taking delivery of a brand new GRC Lights car. Gotta love that. Nice, shiny, white GRC Lights car rolling off the semi there in Snoqualmie. And sure, they're going to get a lot of test time in. And like I've said before, I think one of the big advantages to this program over some of the other programs is that DirtFish has so much to offer there for the team. They have that huge facility there. They've got some asphalt. They've got dirt, obviously, and I think it's going to be advantageous. A lot of these teams have to travel to go test. DirtFish, they make a tweak on the car. Oh, let's just run it out there and see if it works, and I think that's definitely going to be advantageous to them. So get in the car early. Remember, we're still quite a ways away from the kickoff of the GRC season, May 31st over Labor Day or Memorial Weekend, excuse me. So lots of time to tweak on that car, and I'm sure they're going to get that nice, pretty wrap that we've seen done. But super stoked to see DirtFish, our partners up there, get the Tanner Whitten's Lights car on ground, and definitely ahead of the game at this point. But WRC, what more can we say? WRC Mexico, it's one of my favorite rallies of the year, and I got to apologize because obviously after my rollover at Parker, we've been pulling some all-nighters trying to get our trophy track going, and I was at the race shop most weekends. I didn't get to follow along with the rally too much, other than some updates and stuff like that, but I really didn't get to follow along like I wanted. But WRC Mexico, it's their first I guess their only trip of the year, really to North America. But WRC Mexico, it's one of those. It's just definitely an interesting rally. It's different. Different than a lot of others on the calendar, just in terrain. This one looked brutally dusty, but I think the big storyline out of the whole deal, it's not who won. It's not it's not who won. It's not any specific stage. It's literally Oitanic. His crash into the reservoir. It's on my Facebook page. It's on everybody's Facebook page that follows rally, even remotely, I think, at this point. I don't know how many shares, but you want to talk about a video going viral. It definitely was, it's definitely one of those videos. But, aside from that, I laugh because everybody's okay. This had to have been, I've seen a lot of, racing crash videos. This had to have been one of the scariest crashes that I have ever seen. Only not because of the brutality of the crash, but because of the mix of water. Looks like he just got loose coming out of a corner and went off an embankment, kind of hit a tree, caused a car to roll over 2 or 3 times. And as it rolled down this embankment, it rolled into a reservoir, and a mighty deep reservoir at that. The car immediately started sinking. The driver and co-driver immediately out. They were out in a hurry. And the car literally within 15 seconds completely down to the bottom of the reservoir. I mean, you couldn't even see it. You couldn't even see a shadow of the car. I think that's what what was really crazy about it. I mean, that reservoir just literally ate that thing alive, just sucked it up. That it was scary. Driver and co-driver out, got to the side, they all is safe. I know, scary moment there for the tracking because people lost communication with the team, didn't know where they were for quite some time. Everything ended up being all right. But, everybody thought, it's over. They're out of the rally. Great, everybody's safe. Hopefully, M Sport can fish the car out. And who knows, it's probably not salvageable at this point, but at least they can fish it out. Well, get this. They fished it out. The car spent over 10 hours underwater, right? They finally fish it out. They take it back to service in 3 hours. A matter of 3 hours, M Sport completely rebuilt the car. And this is a car that was submerged, and it was running when it went under. No telling what the heck happened to this car, right? Race cars and water just don't mix, plain and simple, right? So in a matter of 3 hours, M Sport completely rebuilt the car, and then they went back into the rally and rallied that car. To me, out of everything, that's, you hear press on regardless in rally. I mean, that is just an amazing feat. I personally, I'd like to see one of those, what is it, stop motion video or one of those sped up videos of the car. I would have liked to seen it when they took it back to service and see a video on the car over the course of the 3 hours they rebuilt it, and see, all the guys that look like ants just running around the car and pulling stuff off and putting it back on. I think that would be a cool video to see what took place in those 3 hours, because this car, I thought it was just junk, yard sale. Maybe, parts of it were salvageable, but, literally I chalked it up to just being junk, and truly remarkable what the guys at M Sport were able to accomplish and get that car back going. I think the story of the rally is obviously that, and there is absolutely some hilarious media going on around this, and I kind of feel sorry for Tonic, because I feel sorry for him, because this guy's never going to live this one down. I mean, this is probably going to go down in the history books as one of the most iconic rally crashes ever. And we're only a couple days removed from it happening, but there's videos and stuff that everybody gets to replay and see, and you look back and, I saw that 10 years ago. It's still pretty crazy. This is going to be one of those videos. Definitely going to go into the record books. Is one of the scariest crashes, but two, the fact that the car got back together, they finished the rally. It's truly a remarkable feat, man. So tip of the cap to the boys at M Sport. To me, they get the award for the weekend for, I don't know what award it is, but I think they deserve some type of award to get that back going. That being said, there was an actual rally that took place in Mexico, and this one, those of you that have been to San Felipe, usually, traditionally San Felipe is right around the same time as WRC Mexico. Those of you that been there, know that San Felipe is brutally hot at this time of year. Can be just absolutely hot and dusty, and traditionally it's just a tough race, and it's very short, but a tough race, right? So WRC Mexico, just figure they're even further south, not in Baja, we're talking mainland Mexico, but even further south than San Felipe. So you can imagine how much hotter it is there, and dusty as well, and absolutely brutal conditions. But this is one of, you talk with a lot of the drivers, a lot of them, this is one of their favorite rallies of the year. But same story. Different rally, same story. Sebastian Ogier, what can you say? The guy, regardless of, his complaints, seems like he's always complaining about something. If he starts first, he hates it. It just, the guy, those of you that follow WRC know what I'm talking about. But he tends to complain quite a bit about everything. And he's the best rally driver in the world at this point, at least that's competing in WRC. You'd think he'd be somewhat happy, but no, he just it is what it is. So he ended up walking away with a win. Osberg in second, Mickelson third, Evans, Sordo, Prokop, Nasser Al-Attiyah, WRC 2 car, sneaking his way into the top 8 there in 7th position. We had Neuville, Fuchs, and Ketema in 10th. Jari-Matti Latvala down there in 15th. Had Padden and Kubica 17th and 18th. But got to mention Tonic down there in 22nd position. So, it's, he's got a time there, though. He finished, he was able to press on, and they got that car back going, and able to finish the rally. So, it's shaping up to be Sebastian once again, in WRC this year. Currently leading the points championship, we got Mickelson in second, followed up by Neuville, and then Osberg and Evans rounding out your top 5 in the point standings. So, it's, 3 rounds in, and, we got Argentina on tap up next. But Sebastian, the man to beat once again. Definitely the guy is dialed in, and he's lightning quick at this point. But we're running short on time here. But those of you that want more WRC coverage, our good friends at the Open Paddock podcast, they dive into WRC and Rally America even further than we do, and pretty much dissect the rally. So those of you looking for more information, I'd say pull up the WRC Live archives or jump over to Open Paddock, and they air their podcast weekly, and grab some more information from them. But this has been your DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. Another event happening over the weekend, Endurocross. Endurocross kicking off their season opener down there in Daytona. They kind of like to tag team with Supercross a bit. And Cody Webb taking home the win on a KTM. Colton Haker on the Husky, he finished up in second. Kyle Redmond in third. Max Gersten, Corey Graffunder, Mike Brown, Body Pocknow in seventh. Rookstool in eighth. Ty Cullens in ninth. And got to give it up for the veteran, Destry Abbott, finishing up in 10th. So top 10 for Destry Abbott. I know, Destry, he's, it seems like, this is his last year competing. He's made that publicly known, and, it's great to see him take some top 10s, kind of in his last hurrah. This guy, I would say you watch Destry, sometime by the end of the year, he's going to sneak his way up there, and I would predict he's going to take a podium at some point. Maybe even sneak a win out of this thing. He's a wily veteran, and that's my prediction this year. You watch Endurocross, Destry Abbott, he's a gamer. And I think you're going to see Destry sneak in there at some point and slap the young guys around and say, hey, I'm still here, guys. I think that's what's going to happen this year. You watch. At some point, Destry's going to sneak in there, but Cody Webb, and we had a great battle in Endurocross last year with Haker and Webb, and it was just a great battle down to the wire. But things shaping up to be another great season. I believe Salt Lake City up next on the Endurocross calendar, and they're just getting things underway. We'll definitely have full coverage of Endurocross here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and we'll definitely have a little more later on in the show, because Amy Houde, she was there on the ground at Endurocross in Daytona. So we're going to catch up with Amy and talk some Supercross and then some Endurocross here in just a little bit. But right now, we're going to take a short break because we got Justin Lofton calling in just a few minutes. Justin going to be talking about his new trophy truck program, and we'll see if maybe we're going to see him back in a NASCAR at any point in time, or possibly sometime soon. So definitely want to stay tuned for hour number 2 of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, because that is up next. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than and Polaris in their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? Jmar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, Jmar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit Jmar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Jmar Brakes. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Been a great show so far. Talked about the raising of the Titanic from the WRC Mexico event, and also had BJ Baldwin on air, Mr. Recoil, and I got to tell you, shedding a little light on Recoil 3, getting me kind of excited, wondering what kind of venues we're going to see up for Recoil 3. BJ pulling out all the stops. I got to tell you, he was, he wasn't as happy, it sounded like, with Recoil 2 as I thought it was badass. But that only tells you BJ, he's the one that likes to raise the bar time after time after time, and would definitely I'm definitely stoked to see Recoil 3. 1, to know it's going to be in production, and 2, to find out where it's going to be at, the location. Talking with Ken Block, when we've had him on air, he says the biggest problem with Gymkhana is every year I've got to up myself, got to one up. It gets to the point like, where do you go? What can you do that you haven't done before? And I think that's going to be one of the challenges with Recoil, and I think we're seeing that. I think that's one of the problems with Recoil, and I think that's one of the problems with with Gymkhana and any of these viral films like XP1K. It gets to the point where what can we do, and then you get all these wild ideas, that get even crazier because you're running out of ideas, so you're way outside of the box at that point. So definitely good things to come from BJ Baldwin. Like I said, Mint 400 this weekend, Las Vegas, one of the biggest events of the year as far as desert racing is concerned. I would I would put it up there. You've got the Baja 1000, you've got the Mint 400. It's there's a couple of marquee events right there, and I think marketing and promotion wise, it's a toss up, man. We'll have to get some. We should have asked BJ, but win the Baja 1000, win the Mint 400. It's I wonder what would be the bigger deal. Well, we got Justin Lofton calling in right now, and how's everything going, Justin?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty good. We're just having this quiet discussion here, but, we just had BJ on air a little bit ago, but let's ask you. I mean, you've been around desert racing for a long time. Mint 400, Baja 1000, obviously both of them huge events to win, but as a driver, which is the bigger win, and for marketing reasons, which one is the bigger win?
Oh, shoot, if you're a driver and you solo it, and it's a peninsula run, the Baja 1000 is definitely, like a big personal, that would be a big personal win. I think when it comes to the marketing side and everything that Martelli Brothers, Mad Media, and Best from Desert are doing with Ford, and I think definitely the Mint 400, it would be one of the biggest wins that a driver can ever do. Yeah. Or ever have on, trophy sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, for sure. Well, talking about that, I mean, let's talk about you and talk about this year because, obviously you've been in Class 1 for quite some time. I mean, your dad made a name for himself there. Stepping up to Trophy Truck this year, how has the change been for you?
It's been good and it's been bad. Jimco built us a beautiful truck, and we had a lot of people come on board and support it. Ray Fields over at Dugan's Race Engines, Doug Fortin, and Mike Juleson, and all those guys, and BFG coming on board with us, and Trail Ready and Fox, and it's been a real pleasure working with them so far this year. And we went out, we had a great qualifying effort at the Parker 425, and had a good race going halfway through the race. And unfortunately, the new truck Gremlins caught up to us, and we had a driveline failure. But I'm getting used to it. It's tough, and I'm going to go spend a couple hours in the truck this afternoon, getting ready for the Mint 400, and hopefully we can come home with a win for all those guys.
Yeah, well, and talk about the truck a little bit, because you guys literally, I think between the time it was finished and Parker, you didn't get a whole lot of seat time in it, right?
And no, the original plan was to have it done 1st of December and all test through December, and Mike got a couple orders for a 10 car and a 6100 truck, and we all kind of agreed that on a company level for Mike, that was a priority, and take the time, get those guys to the Baja 1000. And, my truck actually kind of sat there for about 30 days while they finished up on actually Sam Barry's car and the Cop's car and a 6100 truck. And so I ended up with about 40 miles in it prior to Parker qualifying, and besides 2008 and about 10 miles of 2009, I've never really spent much time in a trophy truck, let alone one that was set up like mine is now. And it was terrifying is the best way to put it when I pulled up to the line at qualifying, because I sure didn't want to go out and look like a slouch out there and end up qualifying 25th or even worse. And I was quite surprised when I saw our times.
Yeah, well, obviously, you had not major problems at Parker. It was enough to knock you out. But you've had some test time now. I'm assuming you said you're gonna sit in it this afternoon. I mean, definitely looking forward to the Mint here later this week, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's we after the Parker race, we came back. We fixed our driveline problem and put the truck back together. I actually didn't even touch anything. I mean, when we showed it to the desert, the hub was still leaking on the right rear. That's how much we just wanted to continue to put miles on the truck. And we put another 120 miles on it, and nothing fell off the truck, nothing bent, was broken. Took the actually as the input shaft that we had trouble with, took that back out, had it magnafluxed, and came back, 100% good. And so I think we got a winning combination so far.
Awesome. Well, and talking about the transition, as a driver, I mean, like you said, you didn't have a lot of seat time in a truck. I mean, so one of those things, I mean, you've been one of the front-running, Class 1 guys forever. I mean, you've been running times, trophy truck type times, but now that you're in a trophy truck, I mean, how has the transition been? I mean, is it relearning how to drive?
It's not quite relearning how to drive. It's just I still drive that truck a lot like I drive my buggy. And at Parker, when we were going down maybe some of the graded roads or some of the bigger looked out sections, I would still check up like I was in the buggy, and I would kind of offset the holes and do a lot. I still had a lot of that habit left in me, and then I would get through the hole and go, oh man, I could have gone another 30 miles an hour faster through there. So that part of it's taking a little bit of getting used to, but when it comes to driving on a graded road, having that lock rear end is the funnest thing in the world. You just pitch it sideways, stand on the gas, and throw a big roost and look cool and continue to move forward and go fast. Where in the buggy, when the minute you got those things pitched sideways, it would transfer that power to that light wheel and push you out of the corner, or you'd lose 20 miles an hour. And so there's some transitions going on that way. My hardest part that I'm really learning, and I got used to it a little more towards the end of my time at Parker, was the pitch of the engine and it being so close to you and being so loud, where the buggy, everything was behind you, and we had a X pipe in the buggy, and it gave it a really cool sound. And the truck we're running, each side has its own exhaust, and it comes out right next to your ear, and learning the pitch of the motor and where it wants to be and when to shift and when not to shift. And so that's probably the biggest transition that I'm getting used to right now.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like, driving the trophy truck is, it sounds to me like, you've been able to draw from your NASCAR experience and the buggy experience. It kind of seems like it's a mesh of both, right?
Definitely. And that's one thing I really pride myself on is, I think, out of all the drivers besides Robbie Gordon, I have a very diverse, background of different vehicles, driving everything from, turning left at Charlotte Motor Speedway to racing the road course at Daytona in the Rolex 24-hour to going up Pikes Peak in a super stock Mustang and some go-kart racing, legend car racing. And, I have a lot of different experiences that I can pull from to make it all work. And when I get uncomfortable, I can find something that an experience in the past that I can pull from to make it work.
Yeah. Well, in talking about that, I know, I think it was last year you kind of said, hey, I'm going to concentrate more on the desert racing side of things. You still definitely, it seems like doors, possibly got to be open to you at some point to get back into NASCAR. Is that something you still like to do?
Yeah, definitely. With moving back to California like I have, and not racing, on a full-time basis like I was, just a couple of years ago, it definitely feels like there's a void in my life. And, it's pretty tough to watch races on TV right now because I sure would like to be there and be participating in them. And so I'm just waiting for that right door to open back up and get my chance and get back in either a truck or an Xfinity car, or hell, even the Sprint Cup car would be a lot of fun to race.
Yeah. Well, and I know, you've also, you run some stadium super trucks. You're going to see you, jump in one of those at any point this year, maybe X Games again, or is that in the plans?
It's definitely, they're definitely on the radar, and we're going through our sponsorship talks right now and figuring out how we can all make it work and make it work without pulling from my off-road budget right now, because that's still a big question mark on what it's going to take to run this truck and how competitive we want to be. We have 8 races on the schedule right now to do it, and hopefully we can get through the Mint and we can do every race that we want to and go out and get some wins for Mike and all the guys at Jimco.
Yeah. Well, what's the schedule looking like? Obviously, full Best in the Desert schedule, and then you're gonna possibly run the Baja races?
We're definitely going to be in Baja. We're gearing up for the 500 and the 1,000, and if we can get through the Mint good, we're going to go to Silver State and run that race. And Vegas to Reno is another big race that everyone we're going to get a big trick truck filled at, so we'll be there. And if we look like we're going to have a chance of taking a number 1 plate away from Voss, we'll be at Blue Water and then down at the 1,000. And if we still got that chance at that number 1 plate, we're going to go to Henderson and hopefully come home with a title and a new number for next year.
Yeah, for sure, right? Well, you're talking about, I guess the big one this week coming up, the Mint 400. You've raced that before. I mean, you know how absolutely tough this is. I mean, people, the best of the best come out to compete at this one. I think any class it's difficult to win, but I mean, looking at the trophy truck field or trick truck field, I think we're like 55 entries deep. I mean, what's it going to take to win this weekend at the Mint?
Man, it's going to take a perfect pass. Basically, it's there's enough stacked trick trucks out there. I mean, I would say there's legitimately 15 trucks that can win the race. The only difference in off-road racing is you can't have 15 people that have a perfect day and everything goes their way. So luck is definitely going to be in your side. And races are won in the shop. They're won at, during the prep. And if you got the best guys working, you definitely stand the best chance. And so, we're feeling really confident. We've had minimal mechanical failures. And unfortunately, the past at this race, we've always had power steering issues, and it's always been very early on in the race, and I think that comes from nerves and excitement, wanting to get out there and get out front and run out front too early, and that's something that we're not going to, we can't do, and if we want to win the race, Andy McMillan's done a great job at just pacing himself over the last couple of years during this race. He's not the guy that jumps out to an early lead. He's the guy that has a big lead the last 100 miles or 200 miles of the race, and we definitely got to follow what he does.
Yeah, the attrition at the Mint is just crazy. You got 55 trucks, and I would say at the end of the first lap, we're already going to be 20 down, and you go another lap and probably 20 more down from there. It's just nutty,
Yeah, definitely. That is the roughest racetrack there is, and I'm hoping with the added mileage and the one less lap that we're going to do is going to add, it's actually going to make the track not deteriorate so quickly, because everyone out there says, oh yeah, off-road racing, big whoops, and you got all this wheel travel and you got all this suspension, and when you're just because you got 32 inches of rear wheel travel and 25 or 26 in the front and 39-inch tall tires, it still hurts when you hit that stuff, and you hit it, and in a truck, all you do is hit it harder. You hit it faster. You got more weight, so it and it's hard on equipment. And I know I want to see a lot of trucks finish a race. I want to see a close race. You got 5 guys, 6 guys within a minute, 2 minutes of each other, and 35 or 40 of the 55 original entries finish the race. And that's what makes that's what keeps our sport strong and growing, and makes it exciting, is when you don't have that big attrition rate. And so it would be really cool to be able to see that, and if the track doesn't go away so fast, it'll help with that whole deal.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about this race, it's, normally, you make a mistake and you hit a rock, something like that, it's a bummer. It knocks you out of the race, but at least it's on you. People don't realize about this race. It's so rocky. It's so rugged. Once in a while, I mean, there's rock gardens on both sides of the course. So you can't get off the course to dodge stuff. And if the car in front of you, got off the course, kicked a big boulder in the middle of the course, you got nothing to do but hit it. Sometimes you can get knocked out of the race, and it really isn't your fault because you literally got nowhere to go, but there's a boulder in the middle of the course, It's so much luck involved in the Mint 400 as well,
Definitely. I think that's what happened to Bryce last year is we're, going through that top wash part and had a car from, a race earlier in the morning stuck in the racetrack, and he jumped out around a bush. And next thing you know, there was a 4-foot boulder sitting there, and he ran, square over the top of it. And sometimes, and that's why I think maybe, as much as I want to go out and I want to take Steve Olliges' money for qualifying, it might just be best to sit about that 5th, 6th, 7th position and let the first two guys knock all the boulders out of the way. And then when they're sitting on the side of the road and you come around for the second lap, you're the guy out front.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think sometimes it's nice to have a guinea pig in this race, to go and kind of clear the track for you, right?
Definitely, and that's in different races. Vegas to Reno is one because it is a point-to-point race, and the motorcycles and all the stuff that start out in the morning, they're not big enough to clean off the roads for you. So when you're literally the first 3 vehicles on the road, going up to Reno, you are blazing the trail for everyone behind you, and you're slipping and sliding on the road, and the guy 10 cars back, he's got a clean, graded, fast road, and he's catching you, and it's just simply because he has more traction than you.
Yeah, the front guys are burning the groove in for everybody else.
Yeah, so I think that's what this race will be like, and I'm sure I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us and what the added mileage is, and I'm really excited to see qualifying. I'm sure Matt and those guys are going to have something up their sleeve for us.
Yeah, especially with them inviting spectators out, there's going to be something exciting for it. So I'm kind of looking forward to qualifying, too, to see, like you said, what's going to be in store for us. And I know it's only a 3-mile course, so I'm sure it's going to be 3 real interesting miles.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be that. And hopefully we get a big turnout. I think the weather is going to be beautiful for us up there, maybe a little on the warm side, but I think it's going to be a good week. I feel good about it.
All right. Well, I know a lot of fans tuning in. They're going to make their way out to the Mint 400. Anywhere they can catch up with Justin Lofton this week and possibly snag an autograph or take a picture with you?
Yeah, we'll be at the Rugged Radio booth Friday during contingency. I'll be there scheduled right now from 12 to 1, but I'm sure I'll be there for a couple more hours after that. And we'll be downtown Thursday night for the Pit Crew Challenge. And then if not, we're going to be at our second home at the South Point Hotel and Casino. We'll be hanging out there, and we're going to have a good time. And hopefully Saturday night we're going to be having a really good time.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, we know you're a veteran here because in one sentence you slid in 2 sponsor plugs, dude. I got a tip of the cap to you there.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. Keep them going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for taking the time to call in. I know you guys got to test the hot rod later on today, but we'll see you at qualifying on Thursday, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thanks, Justin. All right, that was Justin Lofton, off-road trophy truck racer. He's raced some NASCAR, been highly successful in NASCAR. I find it kind of crazy that he doesn't have a ride at this point in time. Won some races, and I call it Craftsman Trucks in the truck series. But Justin, very fast in just about anything he drives, and definitely one of the favorites heading into the Mint 400 this weekend. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Amy Houde, she's going to be calling in, talking Endurocross, Supercross, and hey, she is a Miss Mint finalist. That and more in the last 30 minutes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, so stay tuned.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com. DirtFish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you're looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, DirtFish is the place for you. DirtFish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, DirtFish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at DirtFish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, DirtFish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DirtFish Rally. Looking to have some screen printing, embroidery, or design work done? Intense Tees has you covered. Intense Tees provides the highest quality and detail for custom screen printing and embroidery services for corporations, schools, race teams, and all organizations alike. Complete line creation, including designing of an entire corporate identity, product line creation, support promotions, product packaging, exciting banners, polos, tees, sweatshirts, caps, and vinyl decals. Intense Tees is the official apparel provider for the Down and Dirty Off-Road Show. Find out more on the web at www.intensetees.com. That's www.intensetees.com.
Did you know that Parker Motor Company is one of the best places to shop for new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Parker Motor Company is your only choice. Parker Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. And, man, we've been rocking and rolling Mint 400 week this week. We've had B.J. Baldwin on air. We've had Justin Lofton. We've talked a little bit of WRC, some Endurocross. Right now, calling in just a minute is going to be Amy Houde. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking some Endurocross, Supercross, and most importantly, her making the Miss Mint Finals. That's right. She will be in Las Vegas this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and don't forget, Friday, she's going to be holding it down with me. We're going to be airing for 2.5 hours from contingency, and I got to tell you, we got a guest lineup second to none. It's going to be a great day at contingency with us airing live from the Polaris booth, and I got to tell you, I'm just looking at this list of guests. We'll make the guest list announcement later on today, hopefully, but man, just a great group of people we're going to have stopping by and chatting Mint 400 and racing and everything from, personalities around the sport to off-road drivers. We've got some rally drivers calling in are going to be there. It's going to be a great show, and definitely looking forward to that, especially having Amy there co-hosting with me, and we're going to get her take on the whole off-road scene. She's been to a lot of motorsports events. I think this is going to be her first official desert race, so looking forward to that. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget, those of you on the fence, make your way to the Mint 400. Just do it. Make your way out there. Lots of hotels still available in Las Vegas. And let me tell you, it's worth calling sick to work over. It's going to be a great couple of days down there on Fremont Street and then out in the desert with an epic entry list over. Well, I guess it's capped, but 330 entries for the 2015 Mint 400. I mean, that's nuts. 330 entries. Doesn't include motorcycles or quads. That's just car and truck and UTV entries. That's crazy. And I guess they've got like 30 or 40 on the wait list at this point trying to get in. This event could add 400 entries. Insane. What Best in the Desert and the Martelli brothers have done to push this event, it's crazy. I mean, shutting down the strip to have a parade of off-road vehicles. Who shuts down the strip? Off-road racers do. That's who. It's pretty insane. I mean, we're definitely lucky and been blessed to be embraced by the city of Las Vegas. Welcoming us there. But here is Amy Houde, and congratulations are in order, Amy.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you.
Yeah, things are definitely well, but I know we'll get into talking about Daytona, but Miss Mint finalist, I got to say, pretty excited for you.
Woo! Yeah, I'm excited too. Are you kidding me? I didn't know anything about it until you had suggested that I enter, and it's really cool. The lineup of girls entered this year looks really good. There's a lot of actual racers and badass women, so I'm excited and honored to be a finalist. But I mean, come on, I'm a racer. I don't come to get second place. I'm here to win, and I know I'd do an awesome job, and I'd love to represent the sport. I think it'd be a cool fit. So, yeah, wish me luck, and I'll see you guys in Vegas.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah, I know. Just saying, you'll be down there. I know you've got some obligations with that. I know. Friday, we'll be airing for a couple hours from Fremont Street during some of the festivities. So looking forward to that. I think this is your very first desert race you've actually been to, right?
It is, and I'm going to definitely do my research and watch some videos and look everything up online. But it's always something I wanted to partake in myself. So maybe next year there might be an opportunity that I can get behind the wheel and actually do some racing. So it sucks actually being a spectator, even this weekend in Daytona, because they have the Ricky Carmichael Amateur race and the Endurocross. Like, it's hard going as just a spectator. I am working, but it's not fun not being able to race. Like, I get a little sad. I'm like, this sucks.
Well, in this race in particular, you had a couple of your friends out there, right? Some other moto chicks, as you call them, out there hanging out and shooting video with you.
Yeah, for sure. Taylor and Ashley, my two fellow moto chicks from here in Winnipeg, came out for their first ever Supercross race. So it was super cool that they got to go to Daytona. We went to the Endurocross, or Enduro Crash, as they'd like to call it, because that is some gnarly stuff. But we had a blast. Unfortunately, we got hit with a little bit of bad weather. It rained on Friday, and it was calling for rain on Saturday. And obviously, I mean, Daytona is out in the open, no coverage. If it would have rained, it would have sucked. But, we did luck out. It was just overcast, a little chilly at night, but the track was mint. All the riders were, talking about how good the dirt and the soil were. So we did luck out, definitely, because my mom kept sending me screenshots of the forecast, and it said rain, rain, rain. I'm like, oh, my God, our Florida vacation.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk real quick about Endurocross. I covered, kind of the results earlier on in the show. But, Endurocross, is this the first Endurocross you've actually been out to?
No, I got to check it out a couple years ago in Vegas at the last round of the Supercross series.
Yeah.
But, this year was different because I actually had some friends racing the Abbott, Destry and Cooper Abbott. So I went out there to cheer them on. And last time I didn't really know anybody, so it's kind of like just watching and stuff. But if you know someone, it's always good to be able to cheer them on. And then there was also a ton, obviously, Motorcycle Superstore sponsors the event. So there's so many Motorcycle Superstore riders. And, I don't know if you've touched base on that 16-year-old who went and won his heat race, went on the podium, and then ran to the line to win his next race on the trials bike. And he was the youngest guy out there and just won 2 heats. Like, it was awesome. But, the coolest thing ever of the night, and, the crowd went insane, was when Destry and Cooper were racing in the same qualifier. And they were 3rd and 4th. And Destry actually stopped right before the finish line to let his son, Cooper, finish 3rd so he could have a spot in at X Games. It was, I almost brought tears to my eyes, but the crowd went crazy. They were, hugging it out after. It was such a cool thing to see, and that's why I love racing. And, that really does highlight the family side of this and how much this is a family sport. And, it was just really, really cool to see, so props to them for sure.
Yeah, well, and I know, I had Destry on, I think it was back in December, and catching up with him, and, he's from Arizona, so we got a lot in common, but, talking with him, I know he's been open about it. This is last year competing. He's still going to be on a bike regularly, but I think this is last year for competition. But I called it earlier in the show, and Destry as well. He's been running around finishing with some top 10s and stuff like that in Endurocross, but I'm predicting by the end of this year we're going to see Destry pop through and take a podium or possibly win in Endurocross.
Oh no, definitely. He's a legend. He's such a skilled, talented rider, and he pretty much trains everybody else. He has the Destry, the D8 training facility. If you've seen their training facility, it's one of the best facilities I've ever seen. It's crazy. They got the gym and they got the course. It's they're such a well-rounded family. They even have a daughter. That's actually how I got to know them. Their daughter, Kelsey, races. And it's just cool to see father, daughter, and son all racing. But, I would like to see Cooper be able to, this was his first pro race in the Endurocross. So, I think he has a lot of talent, and I think he could, finish the year strong. It seemed like he struggled a little bit in the qualifiers there's a lot less riders compared to the main event. I couldn't believe how many people were on the line for the main, considering how tight that course was. And it was funny because everyone was like, Amy, you should be out there, get out there. I'm like, excuse me, but if you've not practiced jumping from a log to a boulder and using someone else's bike as a berm before, it's not a sport you can just go out there and try for the first time in a race. That stuff is gnarly. I was blown away by how crazy it was. But those guys are so talented, and they must be so strong to be able to whip those bikes around. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. It was so cool. I'm getting excited talking about it.
Yeah, well, and, like you said, like I've said this before on air, and I think with you, but, we had Travis Pastrana on, and we started talking in Endurocross, and I know Jolene tried to do it, and I think she still, still wants to get back and compete, but even she said it's tough,
Mm-hmm.
and even Pastrana, who will do anything, he goes, they're nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what they're able to do with those bikes in that terrain, he's like, it's nuts. He's like, even for me, he's like, I couldn't be any good at it. He's like you said, you got to dedicate yourself to that particular craft. It's not something you just show up and do.
Seriously. No, that's something you got to train for. That is extreme skilled tactical riding. Like just watching them, it was funny because watching the pro races first, like, shit, that's easy. You just hit it wide open and, aim from the rock and bounce. So whatever. But then when you see the girls out there, just, more my level of racing and, seeing them struggle and actually how they approach certain obstacles. And you could tell how skilled those pros really are, how they do what they do is so tactical. They know exactly how to get themselves in and out of situations. And, it'd be something really cool to learn. I mean, that's like a whole new ball ground that I know nothing about. So it's like a whole different kind of riding. It's not just like flat track or anything. It's completely different. You got to almost make a race with snow from motocross and start all over again.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about Daytona Supercross because we haven't touched on that yet. But looking at the 450s, I mean, Dungey, once again, what can you say, man?
I know. Well, my voice can tell you how exciting Daytona was. Like, I have no voice because I was screaming at the top of my lungs. The racing was so amazing. The heat qualifiers were intense. The main events were intense. Obviously, the KTM team is just doing wonders. I'm going to call it right now that both Marvin and Dungey are going to take the championships. But the racing was just so intense. And it was crazy now that Broxton is out with his knee. Now it just kind of leaves the door open for all these other guys. And I think we see some of the best racing all season at this round. So, it was awesome. Oh, my God, there's no voice.
Yeah. Well, and looking at 250s, obviously Martin with another win. I mean, he's definitely on a mission this year. I mean, he wants that championship.
Yeah, no, for sure. Marvin's on a whole new level. But, some of the battles in the back, like some of the guys that really surprised me were RJ Hampshire. He looks so fast and so incredibly, he wants to win. I mean, this kid's coming up from amateurs. He went through the fence in practice, and he's out there winning qualifiers and stuff. The kid is, I could see him hit Cody in the, oh gosh, that's a tongue twister. Say that can be fast. But I can see him being on the top of the podium in these next couple of rounds here. We really seen the field shape up this weekend. And some solid rides from Jimmy Dakotas and, again, RJ Hampshire, Joseph Buffy again, but the 250s were really interesting. The 450 race was probably one of the best races of the year again. Like, it was so cool. The crowd was completely different. I mean, it just totally stirred up everybody's fantasy again.
Yeah. Well, and talking about Daytona, the track in general, I mean, they always, they always throw something special at these guys at Daytona. It's generally a longer track than they're used to, and I think this is the one that possibly Feld does that the guys at Supercross don't do. But that being said, I mean, you were able to be there. I mean, how were the track conditions? I mean, pretty great, or with the weather, I mean, it was kind of shady.
Well, the weather was nice because it kept everything nice and moist, but they used some almost like, I don't even know what you call it, like almost like black, silky, really fine, Floridian dirt and mixed with a little bit of sand, and the riders were complaining that it was really slippery, and you could see right after the start section, there's the track's kind of divided into, it's unfortunately that race is really hard to see the whole track unless you go up into the grandstand, but and industry seating is you get the bleachers beside the start, and you can't see anything on the other side. So I had to watch the race up in the grandstand just so I could see the whole thing. But the side closer to the start was really, really slick. And then there was some really unique obstacle courses this weekend. They had what we called the grenade section, which was just these weird, bold, like mounds of hard-packed clay sand dirt stuff. But they were all spread out almost like landmines. They were not whoops, but you kind of have to go through them like a whoop section. It was really odd. Actually, I took a couple of video clips from it and put it in my new video. But you guys have to check that out if you didn't get the chance to. It was weird, but Daytona is really cool because there's so much grass around, and all my friends were like, "Oh, so much grass." it looks like an outdoor track. It really does. But, some of the cool obstacles are that two big wall sections right after one another, and every rider kind of hit it up really differently. And you see Jeremy Martin there just launched it as far as he could every time. It almost looked like he was going to case into the second one, but that, he made up so much time there. But, a lot of different unique obstacle sections you saw at this particular track. Daytona, that's what makes Daytona so unique. It's always the track every year.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because you see all the amateur guys walking around next day for the Ricky Carmichael amateur race, and they're just freaking out, being like, holy smokes, this track is huge, but they actually tame everything down quite drastically. But it's funny, a lot of my friends are like, oh, no, I don't know if I can hit this. And don't worry, they tame it down.
So what was the vibe like? Obviously with your video series, you get a chance to to go and interact with the fans and back in the pits and stuff like that. I mean, what was the vibe? What's the vibe around Supercross this year? I mean, everybody pretty upbeat. I mean, is it kind of? It feels like this year is kind of a transition year. With Villapoto kind of bowing out and and going and doing the world thing. I mean, what's the vibe around around the people that travel with Supercross?
I love going to the races. Like, it's one of it's not just like, my passion in the sport that I do, but it's my lifestyle. Like, I go there to hang out with friends and the mechanics and the truck drivers and everyone is so welcoming and inviting. And most of my friends are the truck drivers. Like, they're awesome. They're just a bunch of nice guys who, cook all the food at the rigs and stuff. And a lot of the privateer teams, like the Teddy Parks Privateer Journey, there are a whole bunch of cool kids that come with their girlfriends and, their mom and dads, and, they have a huge group of friends that always come out and cheer them on. So it's a really cool environment at the track. And this year, definitely, because we had a lot of rookies, which bring a whole bunch of, new energy and life to the pits. And I really like the group here on the East Coast. Everyone's really friendly. And you guys have to check out the video because, my Motorcycle Superstore videos are all about capturing the riders and the fan and the atmosphere's personality. Like, what is the personality of Supercross? It's not how you finished, how you like the track. It's who are you? Who are you as a person? And we did a Spitfire, your best Ricky Bobby quote from all these guys, and it was so funny. I mean, it's going to have Level Down laughing because they didn't even have to stop and think about it. I'm just like, what's your favorite Ricky Bobby quote? And I got like 12 out of everyone. It was really, really funny. So make sure you guys stay tuned and check out that video. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you got to do some jet skiing. I mean, I know you hit the beach. I mean, you were pretty much all over. You took in the full Florida experience.
I did, definitely. And everyone thought we were crazy because we were renting surfboards. And I mean, the day we got there was really nice. But then the weather kind of flip-flopped and started raining. We're like, we're only here for a couple of days. We got snow back home. Like, let's go surfing, whatever. Dropped the GoPro in the ocean the first day and lost it because then I had like 12 more. And then we drove to Orlando, did some stand-up jet skiing with Sky Media. He did a bunch of drone work for a lot of riders and some cool videos and stuff. So we actually got to film with drones on the jet skis on the lake. So that was so rad. And then, and then we hit, Main Street Daytona. It's bike week, man. It's the coolest event ever. We're checking all the bars and the little shops. And, I'm a people person, so I just like to go and chat it up with everybody and, meet cool new people. And we met a big gang of Canadians that are from Ontario who race. And, we had a blast with them all week. And we met a whole bunch of new friends. And that's what racing's about, and going to the races. And I feel like we met a whole new family. And they're going to come to Winnipeg to ride, and we're going to come to Ontario to ride. Oh, it's just so much fun. I had a blast.
Awesome.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm at the dirt bike track.
Yeah, you've got that weekend, and then you got to turn around and back it up with the Mint 400, which is one of the biggest desert races of the year. I mean, dang, you're on a roll this the past couple of weeks.
I know, it's been funny. My boyfriend's like, "Are you ever going to be home on a weekend?" I'm like, "No, probably not." Gotta make stuff happen there.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. The only thing that I don't like is yesterday. I had 4 layovers. I left at 11, and I didn't get home until 11:30 p.m. They lost my bag. I only came home with my backpack. Oh, my gosh. I'm sick probably from traveling so much, but, I can't complain because I'm living a lifestyle that I've always had dreams of. And it's so funny when people complain about little things like that. It's like, hey, man, you could be sitting behind a desk right now, slaving away, or you could be out living your dreams. Like, not everything is, roses and unicorns and sunshines and stuff. Like, there's always grind behind living, the life that you've always wanted. So people just don't know that what you see on the outside, there's a whole lot of work and pain and suffering that go behind it too. So it's not easy, but I mean, it's definitely worth it. So
yeah, for sure. Well, we will see you in a couple of days, I guess, in downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like, it's going to be amazing. And if any of you guys racers are listening and going to be at the event, like, please stop in and say hi. I'm going to be a noob, first time there, so anything you guys can tell me about it, keep me up to date. Like, I want to know everything. I want to be a freaking expert of the Mint racing after this weekend. So, and I hopefully would love to be crowned the new Miss Mint 400 after this weekend.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch up with you. We're airing Friday. Obviously, I think they've got some sort of a live stream going for the Miss Mint crowning and pit crew contest Thursday afternoon. But you've got a slammed week ahead of you, and we'll catch up with you in a couple days, Amy.
That sounds awesome. And if anybody has a dirt bike in Vegas and can take me riding, like, let's do this. I can't sit and watch another thing. I gotta participate. So.
Well, I may. I'll have to. I'm already thinking, and kind of my publicist Jen Hellstrom. She's probably listening in right now, but she rides dirt bikes like crazy, and she's from Vegas, so I'm already thinking. So
if you'd love to take me desert riding or to a track or anything, I would love to go. I got a weekend, kind of a free weekend after the race, so. If I could get into racing, that would be awesome.
Well, I'll have to talk with Jen. I'll have to intro you because I'm sure she could get you dialed in somehow.
Oh, and fun fact of the day, I get to pick up my new dirt bike today after work. I get to stop in and grab my 2015 Honda. Oh, I'm so excited. It's like Christmas.
Nice. Well, any day you get a new dirt bike, it's always a good day, right?
Oh, it's a good day. Yeah, I may be sick and have not slept, but I get a bike, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because there's some burnouts in the snow.
Sweet. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Amy, and we'll catch up with you. Catch up with you in a couple days.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Amy. All right, that was Amy Houde, your Miss Mint finalist, resident Supercross expert here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and great catching up with her. Don't forget, this Friday we are airing live the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, from the Polaris RZR compound at Contingency on Fremont Street, 12 till 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we got a list of guests, a guest list, I believe a dozen strong at this point. It's going to be great. Amy will be co-hosting with me live from Fremont. It's going to be a great time. So giving you a quick rundown of results from Supercross. Your 250s, Marvin Muskeen obviously took the win. Bogle second, Martin Savacci, Hampshire, Dakotas, Peters, Anthony Rodriguez, Mitchell Oldenburg, and Martin Davalos, your top 10. And then looking at your 250s, maybe your 250s. My computer wants to cooperate. Not 250s. That was your 250s. I'm sorry. Your 450s. Man, we're getting all kinds of foul-ups here with computers. They just don't want to give me the results. I need results. Dungy, Tomac, Baggett, Seeley, Reed, Kennard, Jason Anderson, Weston Pike, who's having a great year, David Millsaps, and Brock Tickle rounding out your top 10. And your point standings right now in the 450s, it is all Ryan Dungy out front. Solid lead over Trey Kennard in second. Got Tomac, Roxon, Chad Reed making his presence known in that top five, tied with Anderson, who is in sixth. But I got to tell you, Dungy solid lead over Kennard. Kennard a solid lead over Tomac. But that third place spot, still very much up for grabs this year in Supercross. Going to the 250s and your current point standings after Daytona. Remember, we're 4 rounds deep into the East. We got Marvin Muskeen in first, then Martin Bogle Savacci and Martin Davalos in your top 5, and it's tied at this point, second through fourth. Marvin about a 12-point lead lead over Jeremy Martin in second place. And going over to our KMC Wheels Fantasy Supercross, that's right, it's still going down. 333 total entries. I am currently ranked 67th, I might add. Not that that's good, but it's definitely not bad. But those of you who want to get in on the fun, go to fantasyactionsportsleague.com, and you still got a chance to get in and play weekly with us. But I got to tell you, it's you're going for those KMC wheels we're giving away to the winner. You are out of luck at this point in time. But I got to tell you, it's been a great battle so far, and we got a few guys shooting it out up at the top right now. But it looks like Dickie Deal still out front, 6,799 points, 10 points ahead of D-Bert 520. Then we got Aaron H 731, followed by IRK Man 524, and Dice 78 as your top 5 in the Fantasy Supercross points. Dickie Deal, he's working hard for those KMC wheels at this point, and he is the current leader. Man, it's been a great season so far. I've enjoyed doing this. Amy Houde definitely adding to things, but KMC Wheels, got to thank them for giving up those wheels for this Fantasy Supercross. It's been a fun Supercross year. I don't know, maybe we'll have to do some fantasy motocross or something. I know GRC possibly talked about, I talked with them about maybe doing fantasy global rallycross. I think that could be fun. Maybe I can get something set up for that. But Fantasy Supercross brought to you by KMC Wheels. It is going on, fantasyactionsportsleague.com, and we are giving away a set of KMC wheels to the winner. So, we got lots of stuff coming up. Obviously, it's Mint 400 week. We've got the Snowcross finale also happening this weekend. More Supercross. We got Lucas Oil kicking things off. That is on the horizon. But it is Mint 400 week, so I'm going to quick run you through what's going to happen this week. So, obviously, we're airing Monday. Wednesday, and don't forget, for the Mint 400, your home is going to be race-desert.com, desert with a Z.com. They're going to have all live audio. They're going to have videos. They're going to have results. They're going to have live tracking during race day. They're going to have a cover at live chat. Race-desert.com is going to be your home for all things Mint 400. So that being said, Wednesday, got the vehicle parade, and we've got Pit Crew Challenge qualifying down on Fremont. That is Wednesday afternoon and evening. Then on Thursday, it's time trials. We got qualifying for positions. Over 90 of us qualifying in Class 1 and Trick Truck for that number one spot. That is happening on Thursday morning. The Thursday evening, we have the Miss Mint crowning, we have time trials results, as well as the Pit Crew Challenge finals. That's all happening on Thursday. Then Friday, it is contingency day all day long. Lots of festivities. If you're in Vegas, that's the day you want to come to downtown, as well as Thursday night. We will be airing live the Down and Dirty Radio Show from the Polaris booth from 12 o'clock to 2:30 Pacific time. Myself and Amy Houde, we'll be airing down there from the Polaris Razor booth, doing 2.5 hours worth of radio, and we've got over a dozen guests at this point going to be on air with us. Should be a great time. Definitely tune into that. That's going to be at downanddirtyshow.com, as well as many of our other outlets. And then Saturday, it's race day, and you're going to want to tune into race-desert.com to pay attention to the race if you can't make it out. If you can make it out, definitely get out there. It's a great event. It's worth the drive to Vegas. You'll have a blast. Your kids will love it. Lots of festivities. This is the one event you can get up close, meet the drivers, rub elbows. It's just absolutely an epic event. You want to be there. I don't know if I can say much more. I mean, if Justin Lofton and BJ Baldwin couldn't convince you to be there, I don't know who else is going to. But got to thank those guys, BJ and Justin, for calling in today. I know it's race week. It's always tough. And as well as Amy Houde, and a big congrats goes out to her as a Miss Mint finalist. Here's hoping the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Amy Houde can bring home Miss Mint crown. But upcoming guests, obviously next week we're going to shoot. We're going to try and have the overall winner of the Mint 400 as well as the newly crowned Miss Mint on air. We've been able to deliver that to you the past couple of years, and I'm thinking we're going to be able to do it once again this year. So next Monday, that should be the guest lineup. And, man, like I said, we've got the Snowcross finale also this weekend and some Supercross, so look forward to that next week. Got to give a big shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Rigid Industries, DirtFish Rally School, UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino, JMR Performance Brakes, KMC Wheels like no other, Parker Motor Company, Intensities, and got to give a shout-out to Amy, Justin, and BJ. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow. And you can find all of our archives there. And don't forget, we are part of the new Race Day Nation, airing on iHeartRadio, as well as FoxSports.com, as well as the Performance Motorsports Network, PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com, as well as various other places. And I want to hear from you fans. Who do you want as guests coming up? At JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Give me a shout. Use the form on our website. Contact me. I want to know, who do you want to see as guests? Love to get your input. We're getting ready to start really kicking off a lot of different series, especially short course. So I want to know who you want to have on air. And if you haven't already, download our app, available on the Apple iTunes Store, the Google Play Store, and the Amazon Kindle Store. Just search Down and Dirty Show, and it'll pull right up. Hopefully we see you guys out at the Mint. If you're not at the Mint, hopefully you're tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show this Friday with me and Amy Houde. But I want to tell all of you, thank you for listening in each and every week to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, making us the #1 off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet. It is Mid-400 Race Week. As always, take care and game on.